I literally can't believe I'm making this video. So today's video is going to be a lot different than normal videos. We are stepping away from the advice giving and that new stuff temporarily and talking about other stuff, and we're actually going to sit down and reflect together. So we are fast approaching the 6-month anniversary of this channel, and a lot has happened in the existence, well, which I would call the prime existence of this channel. It has technically been around for a lot longer, but I more so consider the January 29th as the first day on this channel, even though there are videos that do exist beforehand. So I really wanted to take the time to reflect on this year so far. A lot has happened on the channel, a lot has happened in my own life, and I thought I'd tell the story of what's gone on in my life on the channel, just to bring some of the new people up to speed. By the way, thanks for the support on a lot of the new content, because I really appreciate it. But with that aside, let's go to the very beginning. So, 6 months ago, I left a relationship that was really bogging me down. I've told the story countless times already, so to keep it pretty simple, a lot of things happened between us, and there's some things on her side that were just, I couldn't really deal with anymore. So I ended up leaving her, and nothing really started instantly. It took a couple weeks for a lot of effects to come in. Obviously, I felt a bit happier being alone, and in ways knowing that I was going to work on myself, but I didn't really start the channel until 2 weeks after. And from that day that I left her, it's kind of been like a steady trek up. And the next few months were pretty quiet for all. There wasn't really a whole lot going on. I was just trying to get my craft perfected. I was uploading just regular videos. First video was Be Yourself, and that was right after I finished a certain anime called The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. And I ranted on and on about that anime, just because it really stood out to me, and because I haven't watched anime in a while at that point in my life. So I spoke of that and kind of learned that like being yourself is okay. And I'm just trying to think what the person's name is, but they sort of inspired that first video and kickstarted a lot of that. So shouts to them. I'll have to figure out their name at some point, and we'll reflect more on the 1 year anniversary. So after that, I started to really work on the channel, and I learned a lot more about what I wanted to do and such, until a month in, I ended up going on hiatus because I ended up trying to pursue my college diploma thingy again, because I was not able to get a job in IT, and I thought, well, here, let's try this out. Now that I have AI on my side, I might be able to actually have a chance. And because I oftentimes expect fast results, I quit that and came back to YouTube, and in all honesty, I don't think it'd really work out too well if I went there right now. Plus, it's just a pain trying to get into that field. So anyways, I went back to making videos, and I was just doing it for, I think it was a couple months. I think I did 3 videos a week, 2 or 3, I'm not really sure at that point. And then what ended up happening is actually booked a ticket to fly to Alberta. Just a little backgrounder, my mother moved there last year, and I thought, yeah, let's visit her and actually get to know the province a little more, because I've had the idea of moving away from where I live right now for a little while now, and Alberta in ways seems to be the #1 pick. So I went out there also to put my feet in the shoes of an Albertan, and let me just say that irregardless of if I move there or not, that kickstarted a lot. So of course, working on the channel and such has helped in ways, but there wasn't really much that went on until I went out there. And before I got on the plane, I sort of had this little psychological analysis that I oftentimes do with myself, or I just overanalyze the situation. So this over-analysis thingy turned to be that I was leaving the old me behind. And in ways, it was true. I came back a little different, but I wasn't fully different, and I'll get to that point in a little bit. So I stepped on the plane and went out there. I had a grand time. It was nice to just be on the west side of Canada and actually have some stuff to do. And yeah, it was a fun time. Then the Wednesday before I flew back home, which was a Friday, I was sitting in bed and I was just not having it. It was sort of the end of doing things in Alberta, so I sort of just sat there thinking like, well, this is the end of the trip and I have to go back to the East Coast and back to my old dull life. And I'll be man enough to say that I was crying and I was sort of half torturing myself listening to music that just sort of reminded me of Alberta, which I don't know why I did that to myself. It was very silly, but I did it anyways. But I guess it just kind of showed that I really enjoyed the place and I didn't really want to go back to that old life of mine. But the thing is I needed to go back, and the psychological part comes in here in a minute. So what I did is, because I was honestly very desperate to talk to somebody, and because I had some issues with a friend at the time too, like he wasn't really great for listening to what I had to say, so I just thought, well, no, whatever. And nobody was online anyway, so I thought, okay, let's go into this random Discord server that I joined back in April. And basically the Discord server is all about like self-improvement, discipline, yada yada yada. And I thought, okay, well, let's just go into the venting channel and post in there, just be like, yeah, like this is going on. I felt a bit better doing it, but I was still pretty upset. And I mean, I got on the plane, and I mean, I was nervous to fly again, but it was hard to leave. Like, I almost cried when I left. Like, the sad thing is whenever my mother dropped me off and we walked to security, like she was in shambles, and it was very hard to see. And because I don't really cry in front of people, I didn't really cry. Of course I was very sad to leave, but anyways, I left. I went through security. I had a bit of a funny thing happen in security. So there's these things called bear claws, which is basically like turtles, if you know what that product is, and it basically has like cashews on one side, which is made to look like a bear claw. So I got flagged for that because for whatever reason, chocolate gets flagged. So and Buddy literally said, yeah, like it gets flagged off, and it's just we just want to check, make sure. All right, I'll carry on. So I sat down at my gate, and I was just thinking like, yeah, I'm about to fly, but I'm gonna miss this place. And I even got on the plane, and it was cloudy that morning too, so there wasn't really a good view of the mountains, and I was wanting to see them one final time. But the gate that I was in, it was kind of on the southwestern part. I think it was in Section C at the Calgary International Airport. So when we pushed back, I actually got to see the mountains one final time. Somehow the sky cleared in ways, and I was able to see them. And of course, see the downtown core as well, because whenever you're driving from Red Deer ways, you get to see the skyscrapers from it's many kilometers away. I think it's like 20 or 30, like before Airdrie, basically. And it's so cool, and it's like, yeah, like I'm gonna miss that. And I think of Calgary Tower as well, because I went there, and I think of that as a nice place to go on a date with my future girl if I go out there. So I was thinking of that too, and it was just a flood of emotions. There's also a song that was released at that time as well. It's called Land by Tyler Hubbard, and it's about a few different things, but it's the big message is whenever life gets hard or something like that, it's how you fall and where you land. So like if you have a nice foundation or something like that. I don't know why that song stood out so much, but it did. And listening to it as we pushed back or something, like, when did I listen to it? I think I listened to it while I was sitting in the gate, and yeah, I was on the verge of crying, and even sitting on the plane and just seeing the mountains and the city was enough to almost bring me to tears on the plane. I actually, the middle seat was actually empty, so it kind of helped in that regard. Somehow at the front end of the plane too, which was completely unreal. And anyways, we taxied down towards the runway, and I guess whenever we took off, I just played some music, tried to hype myself up. And anyway, so the flight went on, and anyways, we bank towards the East Coast, and I was able to see the airport and Airdrie and that area one final time as we ascended into the clouds. There was a bit of a storm nearby, so we were flying over there, and then the transition begins basically to the East Coast. So, I mean, on the plane, I watched the movie, yada, 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 and we came down. It was pretty smooth for all, but it was a rainy day that day. So, coming back, it's like, yeah, thanks for the warm welcome, East Coast of Canada. I really needed this, and it was so cold, too. And this was the very end of May, and it usually is a lot warmer at that point, but this year it wasn't. So, I was okay that day, but that was just because I was coming off of the high of flying and the adrenaline and that kind of stuff. The next day, though, is when it really fell apart. I went into the city to do my grocery shopping and all that, and I felt like crap. I missed Alberta. I was back to the slower pace and the traffic and that kind of stuff, which Alberta has traffic, but at least you have freeways out there, which is a little different. But I was back to that, and all the annoying things just came back, and being lonely sort of came back too. So I was just very upset, and it persisted for about a week, up until I actually, this was by some crazy miracle. So on that Discord server, which I'll name the Discord server now for future reference, it is Jingusverse, which is basically, that's again, like I mentioned, the Discord server is about like self-improvement, discipline, and all that. It's like a very, I would call it a tightly knit online community. It's very collaborative. Everybody helps each other out, that kind of thing. Or people can just vent and call it a day. Like there's a lot of different things that go on. So Jinx, who is the creator and such, she also runs like the TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. She actually decided to make an event for the month of June, which was Men's Mental Health Month. So I'd seen the event, but it happened on Fridays, and because I worked evenings at the timing, I thought, well, no, I can't join it. Like, I just can't, and it sucks. So I just didn't think anything of it at the time. I'd also given an update as well, I think in the middle of that week, just saying, like, I'm doing all right, but still just having the feels. But they never went away. Like, the following weekend was the same old crap, and I just felt awful and such. So that Sunday, I was out in the city, and I was parked, getting ready to grab a bite to eat, when I saw a Discord notification saying that a one-time Sunday event was happening, and I thought, okay, I didn't think much of it, but I was thinking, you know what? The way I feel right now, I need to talk to someone. I need to do something. And I thought, I sort of like made a bet almost that like, okay, if I get home, get on my computer, and they're still going, I will talk. So I ate my food, came home, and sure enough, they were still on there. So I thought, okay, well, I got to get on there. So I listened in for a few minutes, but I was just terrified. I was so scared to talk about how I felt and some of the problems I had, which a lot of it had to do with the loneliness. And I think I might have briefly touched on Alberta when I was in that VC, but I can't remember for sure. I just know a lot of the socializing thing was part of it. So I got on, and I was so terrified, but I was able to talk, and I was like, and I even said, like, I'm really nervous, but everybody's like cheering me on, even though they don't know who I am. I literally just came on. I'm a total stranger. I'm not part of the community. So, but people were cheering me on, saying, like, you got this, bro, and that kind of stuff. And so I went on and talked. And while it didn't change my life overnight, it was relieving, actually, to talk about it. And it really helped that week. Then I decided, well, you know what? Let's attend the regular Friday meetings. Even though I'm at work, I could just find a spot to sit, and off I go. So I attended the second one the second Friday, I guess, which would have been the third one of the month. I attended that one, and it had to do with my sleep, because my sleep was just total garbage, because working evenings, if I don't have something essential to do, I won't get out of bed. That's kind of how I roll. So I was trying to figure out how to do that, and I got some advice on that, which helped, and I was able to largely get the sleep schedule on track. I mean, the earliest I woke up was like 10 a.m., but yeah, like it still wasn't 100%, and I am kind of concerned for the fall. if I'll be able to uphold that, or if I'll just end up switching to like a more night schedule. Who knows? I might do that. So then the fourth one was sort of a continuation on socializing and such. And anyways, this time though I noticed something a lot different, and it was I was able to talk to the person like they were right there, and that we're basically friends almost in a way. I was able to just talk like nothing was going on. It was like nobody else was there really. Um, I had also ended up joining the inner circle as well, which it boils down to you get these weekly VCs, which are basically more private, I guess, more personal. I believe is what it is. You also get monthly one-on-ones. There's a monthly inner circle VC, I think, that goes on. I haven't really heard anything of that recently, but there's some of these perks and such, and I thought, well, you know what, let's just do it. So I did that, and anyways, my first Sunday weekly VC was very nice. I was nervous, of course, getting on there and actually talking to these new people that I would reckon are quite serious about self-improvement. And anyways, I got in, but I integrated myself so well. I was able to talk about my situation, and we ended up playing Repo, which was very fun. There was 4 of us, including me, and yeah, it was very fun learning the game and just interacting with new people. It was very lovely. So that's become a regular thing now, and I've carried on talking to people. I've even started. There's a channel called Daily Progress where you can do. I call it a daily journal entry. So I've been doing that now for almost a month now, and there's also weekly wins where you basically say like, this is what I've done this week, this is what I've accomplished, like, yeah, here we go. So I've been doing that as well, keeping track. And geez, I have a fan base here on the Braxter Knight channel, but now I have a fan base on the Discord server too, which is surreal. But it's not about getting fans on there, it is about self-improvement. So but it's nice though to have people there to support me. I've also been engaging in my church community a lot more. Like, if you don't care for faith, that's okay. I'm not going to be all crazy about it, but I've been talking to the pastor and deepening my faith a lot more too. So, and that's helped in ways as well. Learning a little bit more about that. So that's helped as well. And I've also kind of used the church as a way to actually test my social skills, because I don't quite have a place to go to through the week or on Saturdays because of my other work schedule. Church is kind of my best way to do it. So I've even introduced myself to some people, had some conversations with some people, which has actually been very nice. So I've definitely seen a lot of growth in that regard. And even today, so we had our usual one-on-one. Today's Sunday, and I sat down. I pulled over on the side of the road because this one happened earlier today, and it was between visits. And so I pulled over on the side of the road, and I wanted to talk. And anyway, so at the end of it, once I finished talking about everything, so everybody's like, "We're so proud of you" and such, and because of how quick I've done it too. And that kind of goes to show though that the part of me that's wanted to be more social and be outgoing and confident was just buried under a bunch of rubble, and with the help of others we've been able to uncover a lot of that. There's still work to do though. The work has not ended yet, but a lot has happened, and I even still sit here and I'm still in disbelief that I've done a lot of these things with the help of these people. And like, credit goes to them. I want to do like a proper reflection someday on that Discord server, because a lot of credit goes to them. So kind of going back to the goals and other achievements I've had this month. So one of my goals, so my goal for June was to socialize, or at least be able to say hi to people, to basically have small talk. Like, I was able to have a conversation with 3 different people in the span of 5 minutes, which was absolutely nuts, and I was very proud of myself that day. I can talk online easily. I can talk in my church a lot more easily. And even recently, I was able to do karaoke, which I don't usually sing in front of other people. Like, I do it right now, but I don't know if I'd want to do that or not. But went on to do karaoke with a couple of online friends. So I have noticed such a huge shift. Now, recently, it's kind of funny because with it nearly being 6 months since I left my ex, I guess it's coincidental, I would say. A lot of the thoughts have come back, so I'll be completely transparent and say that I've gone back to her twice in the past. And so first time was a few weeks after, second time was a month after that few week phase of waiting for things to improve, which never happened, unfortunately. But I have had those thoughts again, and because it's summertime, I'm like, well, no, usually I have people with me, but what my brain thinks is because she's the easiest route. Whereas if I sit here and work on myself for the next year, that's the harder route. And then, no, my brain doesn't want that, but I had to face it. So first thing I did was reached out on the Discord. I talked to Jinx. I talked to a person that actually was able to relate to what I was going through. So I reached out to them as well. Talked in the group VCs as well. And I got some great advice, and I was able to use that advice the other day to sort of really affirm that I'm doing a lot better and that I am better off without her. And that if I give in to that temptation, that basically makes my whole existence on that Discord pointless, and would honestly also invalidate my entire channel, because the whole point of this channel, like, I started doing these kinds of videos 2 weeks after I left her, and if I went against my word, then that's just letting myself down, letting everybody else down. I'd just be a bad example, right? Then all my advice and stories would just seem pointless, because I just go back to the old me. And the whole point of this big journey of mine is to let go of the old me. That old me needs to die off, and if I go back to her, that old me doesn't die off. So I knew that this was pretty urgent, so I reached out, I got advice, and I was able to actually get a new perspective. So that's kind of the little rundown of the past 6 months. Like, if you can't tell, a lot more focus has kind of been on the Alberta trip and the past month. That's because a lot of the progress has happened in like these past almost 2 months, I guess I should say, compared to the other 4 months. So it's kind of crazy how a trip to a different province really changed my life. Just everything fell into place, and I am so happy that that's all happened. I still think of this journey, and I can't believe that I've really come this far. Like, we're growing a community here, like, and I've recently been doing shorts, and I've been getting comments from people, and it's just so nice to see those comments. It just uplifts me. It's just hearing other people tell their story, hearing people say, yeah, relate, and offering support, all that kind of stuff. It's just lovely, and that's what I really want, is to build a community. So I also want to take the time to put out there that I have a Discord server. Now, I'm not sure when I upload this video if it's going to be up to a certain level or not, but right now I'm doing a massive overhaul because I've completely changed my content. I mean, it's 6 months overdue, but better late than never, am I right? So I would encourage you to join the Discord server if you would like to connect with me and stay up to date on videos. And if you want to engage with the community, which currently I have some people there, it's just a dead Discord server, so if you want to join, I mean, eventually it's going to be alive, so that's the thing. But I'm gonna take some time to update the Discord to be a bit more tailored towards the new content, and also just get some roles and such going. So I'd encourage you to join that. So with that being said, I would believe that's all I have to say in today's video. So I hope you enjoyed, and again, thanks for all the support, and thanks to everybody that's been here on this journey. Like, no matter when you've joined, if you were there from before the 6-month growth phase I've been going through, or if you've just joined, if this is your first video, literally thank you for being here. And I want to give a special shout out to Jingosverse, everybody in that community. Nobody's really watching this. I'm sure one day they might see this video and be like, yeah, okay, you could have thanked us sooner or sent us the video. Like, geez, come on now. But a lot of credit goes to them. So anyways, with that being said, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for listening to my little ramble today. And here's to the next 6 months. I can't wait to do the year reflection and look back. And hopefully by then I'll be able to make a decision on moving to Alberta and really set off like the future, basically. There's a lot I have as ideas right now, and I would just so love for it to become reality, because it's basically a whole documentary I want to make at some point. So yeah, with that being said, that's enough of the ramble. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.